you're not expecting. It is generally believed that we are wasting our precious moments due to improper planning, outside pressure, or inadequate equipment. But the actual threat comes from other areas. These silent killers come in disguise and waste your valuable moments without your knowledge. These are the unseen threats of time, the time thieves. This chapter will help you identify them, face them, and defeat them. Chapter 4. 4 time thieves you're not expecting. It is generally believed that we are wasting our precious moments due to improper planning, outside pressure, or inadequate equipment. But the actual threat comes from other areas. These silent killers come in disguise and waste your valuable moments without your knowledge. These are the unseen threats of time, the time thieves. This chapter will help you identify them, face them, and defeat them. The passion for immediacy comes from the very culture that envelops us. We are taught to admire the practical and shun the theoretical. We check on our mobile phones every few minutes, reply to emails instantly, and take pride in solving problems only to find out that our priorities have not changed. Urgency requires an uncensored connection. When anyone has the ability to contact you whenever he wants, your day will become subject to his issues. That does not mean that you have to turn a blind eye to any legitimate issue, but rather you need the ability to differentiate between urgent matters and those that just seem like emergencies. To escape from this condition, what you have to do is recondition your reaction to urgency. You have to learn how to wait before you respond. Is there an actual urgency here, or is it something unexpected? Develop processes of dealing with the unexpected, batch reading emails, having office hours, communicating based on certain guidelines. It's addictive because you get an instant payoff. But it's not a permanent one. The price you pay for that payoff is the deepest part of what you have to offer, your highest aspirations, and your peace. Let nothing trivial hijack your best thoughts. Take back your time from the urgent. Time thief second, comparison distraction. Comparison hardly appears to be a form of distraction when it happens. It sneaks up on you subtly whenever you come across somebody's accomplishments, success, and what a person of your age has managed to do in life. Initially, it is an innocent observation, but slowly it turns into obsession as you unknowingly find yourself comparing your time, goals, and worth based on somebody else's experience. The threat in comparison is that it messes with your personal pace. It forces you to pick up the speed when you are just starting to get comfortable with your routine. It introduces self-doubt where none existed before. You find yourself questioning your schedule, your goals, and putting yourself under unnecessary pressure. Slowly but surely, comparison distracts you from your own race and diverts you to someone else's expectations. Comparison doesn't only strip away your happiness, but it also steals from you your time. Your mind becomes clouded with thoughts of what-ifs and why not me. Comparison makes you believe that you are lagging behind when the truth is that you are exactly where you should be at. Instead of doing what is important to you, your life becomes one of chasing after an illusion. But there is hope for you. When you have a clear sense of where you are at the present season of your life, your values, and the work you are building, you can see through the comparison game. It no longer becomes about keeping up but staying true to yourself. You are not going to turn away inspiration, but admire without mimicking. Unfollow, unsubscribe, and filter when necessary. Not from frustration, but because you're focused. Comparison can never be avoided, but it does not have to rule your life. Your feed is not screwed up. Your journey is not behind schedule. It will always be of greater value to be yourself than it will ever be to be a carbon copy of anyone else. 4.3 Time Thief 3. Overcommitment. Overcommitment is one of those time thieves that gets huge social praise. But underneath all of the praises, it is an act of quiet submission of your time and boundaries. You agree to take on more than what you need to, and more often than necessary. And in doing so, you fill your calendar up with tasks that take away your time. And the more that you do this, the more people start to rely on you for it. Overcommitment doesn't always look like chaos. Sometimes it looks like competence. You're the one who gets it done, so more work comes your way. You may even feel flattered at first. But slowly, your margin disappears. Your creativity dries up. Your health suffers. And the resentment begins to build not just toward others, but toward yourself for letting it happen. Overcommitting is usually the result of something within oneself. Fear of letting people down, fear of being viewed as lazy, fear of FOMO, fear of missing out. This is an emotional responsibility. Sometimes there are times that need to be put into overdrive, but continual overcommitting is not sustainable or even necessary. The way to get out of this trap is to first be honest with yourself. Are there some things that you are committed to, but which no longer reflect your personal beliefs or vision for yourself? Is there something that you can give up, postpone, or delegate to someone else? You do not have to explain yourself to everyone all the time. You just have to make a schedule that works for you. The problem with overcommitment is that it quietly sucks up time meant for the future, but instead gives it to something else entirely. Yet by protecting one's time, one protects their energy, their priorities, and ultimately, their potential to perform at their best. One can even be generous, but only if there is an overflow left. Boundaries are not walls, rather, boundaries are doors that have locks. And you decide who gets a key. Time thief. Fourth, the price of indecision. Indecision may not at first seem like a time thief because it is so quiet and even seems wise. After all, you tell yourself that you are thinking things through or waiting for clarity. Yet, indecision can be one of the least recognized ways in which you steal your time. Indecision freezes you into that mental whirlpool and makes you keep going around and around in circles, reweighing your choices, reassessing your risks, and reliving potential results. While your mind is doing all of this analysis, however, your life is on hold. But here's the worst part. The more time passes, the bigger your decision becomes. This is not an excuse to make haste when making those decisions. You need a way of doing it. Limit time on making your decision. Know your values so that you can be able to assess your options using your values. You can ask yourself, what would I decide if I trusted myself? Or what's the easiest step to take now? Most decisions are reversible. You can change direction, make adjustments, or start over. But time wasted in indecision is something that is not recoverable. It's costlier than you can imagine, not just because of lost minutes, but because of lost momentum. And momentum makes everything possible. The more decisions you make, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the quicker you move through life. 4.5. The cumulative loss of time theft. The perpetrators of time theft never steal time in overt manners. It is not like taking off 5 hours. Instead, it is stealing 5 minutes now and 10 minutes then. This can be seen in delayed decisions, a needless commitment, or browsing through comparisons. The act might appear trivial. However, it all builds up to something bigger. You lose more than time when these thieves go unchecked. You lose momentum. You lose confidence. You lose the chance to build something meaningful, because your energy is being drained by what doesn't matter. And the worst part is, it's happening invisibly. No alarms go off. No one notices at first. Until one day you wake up feeling disconnected, overwhelmed, or behind, and you can't trace it to a single cause. That's why awareness is key. The minute you identify a time robber, you're already taking away its power. You cannot recover the lost time that was taken from you in the past, but you can put an end to it. You can take back your minutes by making the right choices. Take notice of moments when you feel drained, when you lose your concentration, when your priorities take the back seat. These are red flags. Time robbers are operating and trying to hijack your focus. Do not ignore these. Take action. Make changes. And above all, forgive yourself for the time that you've lost unaware. This does not mean that you are lagging, rather, you are awakening. And that is where strength lies to start from. 4.6 Myth of being busy yet stuck. Another common time trap is being busy yet stuck. You always do things. You tick off your to-do lists. You respond to your emails. You have lots going on, sometimes even more than you can handle. Yet somewhere inside, you cannot help but admit that you are not actually progressing at all. You are just managing everything except progress. It's an illusion of progress, which is particularly harmful since it's quite productive. One isn't wasting his or her time in any visible way. One is working hard, And it doesn't mean at all that the work done can be useful or important in any way. It can just happen to be reactive rather than proactive, chaotic, and scattered rather than thoughtful. The phenomenon called busy but stuck means that the time thieves are dominating one's life in the background. One is too committed, too distracted, too much into comparing oneself to others and can't decide. And the things one completes don't have anything to do with his or her values and vision of long-term goals. First of all, it comes from being still. You have to take the time to ask yourself, am I really doing things that give me the life I want to live? Such a question strips away all the noise. This question requires honesty on your part. You have to replan your schedule, not by adding more, but by figuring out the right direction. It's not about working harder, it's about getting unstuck. In many cases, this is about subtraction first, then addition. Direction first, then strategy. The busier you are, the more intentional you have to be. It's easy to be busy, but clarity is what will make all the difference. 4.7% Why time thieves love chaos. Time thieves love chaos. They love disorder, lack of clarity, and lack of definition. The less defined your schedule is, the more scattered your energy is, and the less clarity you have, the better conditions for time thieves. Distractions seek you out. Urgency controls you. Indecision reigns supreme, and overcommitment is the order of the day. You might feel that there is no disorder in your life. However, any form of disorder, be it an unstructured list of tasks, lack of goals, or impulsive actions, can serve as an opportunity for time theft. Disorder leads to confusion, and when one feels confused, he or she starts making choices out of feelings, not intention. One chooses whatever is easy, fast, and predictable, not aligned. Order does not imply perfection, it implies organization. Order is having some anchors during the day, some borders of your time, and focus on priorities. Order in time helps get rid of the clutter, shut off the doors for time thieves, and become the creator of your day instead of its victim. 4.8% Triggers into tools. Every time thief has a trigger, a certain feeling, environment, or situation that weakens your focus and opens the door to distraction or avoidance. For some, it's boredom. For others, it's overwhelmed, anxiety, or the fear of failure. These emotional states often lead us straight into the hands of a thief, but they don't have to. When you understand your triggers, you can turn them into tools. The first step is to identify them. Pay attention to the moments you reach for your phone, say yes to something you regret, or avoid a decision that needs to be made. What were you feeling just before that? What thought or situation pulled you away from your priorities? These moments are full of insight. They reveal where your time vulnerabilities live. Create a response strategy. As a reaction to the trigger, how can you shift your course through a different behavior or question that you ask yourself? For example, rather than going to your social networks when you are feeling stressed, go for a walk, do some breathing exercises, or engage in a journal prompt. If you have a habit of agreeing to things out of a feeling of insecurity, respond with, "I'll let you know after I think about that." With practice, you will find yourself no longer seeing your triggers as dangers, but rather as opportunities. Opportunities for growth, opportunities for reflection, opportunities to lead your time more intentionally. Triggers don't have to throw you off course. They can be used as signals within you. Choice is born from awareness, and choice is what transforms chaos into mastery. Thanks for watching and listening my video. Keep watching and subscribe my channel for more interesting information about time management.